Hey, how's it going? I am going to I hope that I'm not gonna get cut off too fast, so I need to talk. So I am gonna read 2 cards, and I pulled 3, but 2 of them are from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. This guy here, and oh yeah, so follicle focus. This is what it looks like when I pull my ponytail, or whatever you call the hairband, out. I've taken the sweater on and off since I took the band out, and my hair just stayed. So I just wanted to show that, because no product, by the way, and I washed my hair, yesterday. So there you go. There's your follicle focus. So anyway, the cards that I'm gonna read are from there's 2 from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, and so the first one is Vanishing Mirror, and it's Ego Sublimation. And the second one I pulled was Skywriting. I did pull a 3rd one, but I'll talk about that in a minute when I get to it. I guess I should not speak into the floor, should I? I'll talk about the 3rd card in a second. So I kept getting the feeling like, you don't have to go ahead and use the guidebook today, and I was like, really? I shouldn't use the guidebook? And it's like, you're all right, just go ahead. So no net. Anyway, that's not just a busted mirror. That thing's exploding. So, wow. I'm thinking of, what is it, Snow White, where the queen, the evil queen, is like begging the mirror to tell her how beautiful she is. You know, mirror, mirror on the wall. And some later non-Disney versions of that that I've seen have had the mirror have much more to say than it did in the movie, the original movie. So, on the one hand, I feel like just in that scenario that not only was the mirror just disgusted enough already to just be like, I'm just gonna break this thing so she can't talk to me, and on the other side is her with her like ego that is so calloused, and so like the insecurity involved with. You have to see the movie, but she's kind of a narcissist. Oh, and she's evil. Did I mention she's evil? So, just the clash of those 2 personalities. Like, I've seen it play out in that cartoon I mentioned earlier, but yeah, I mean, that could totally be the clash of the titans there. And all about the ego, that you can't like let go of stuff, and like after a point, I mean, she doesn't look like the picture of Dorian Gray or anything, but she's not Angelina Jolie either. Jolie, pronounce it correctly. Other stuff though, that was just like, okay, get past that. Okay, one of my regular subjects that I talk about is like the relationship of Americans with each other and their differences. And lately it's, well, I guess it's kind of always been about our inability to even now discuss them in a civil way. Like it's gone to some pretty extreme like responses to, you know, something that one side or person finds objectionable. And like I was saying before, there's some elements that are similar on the other side, but it just comes across differently. And something I didn't say when I was talking about that yesterday, like for like the MAGA people or the Q people, or maybe both, I think they may all be kind of blended together. a conglomerate. Conglomerate. Okay, I was just trying to dream up a word, but forget that for now. They're having troubles with their family members. Their families are fracturing, and the family members that don't want them to be that person, that Trump devotee, and just there's a lot of things that are prevalent among like those people, MAGA, and well, just a lot of people on the right, but a lot of people everywhere. But I'm talking about the people on the right at the moment, and there's a lot of sort of oh gosh, groups that find other people, perhaps not part of their group, objectionable to varying degrees of needing to have some sort of lesson taught to them, let's put it that way. They don't like them. They want them to go away. Sometimes they want to make them go away. And sometimes that's not a pretty thing, the method. So, there's that. And so that's like damaging to people around them, around the people that are like devoted to this movement. And then the other side people, they have their problems too. It's going to be harder for me to list because I'm sort of more inclined that way, so it's not as offensive to me. But I mean, I'll give you one. The people that don't want people to be homeless, but if they want to put them in their area or even a prison, they're like, oh no, the NIMBY people, not in my backyard. That's not exclusive to the left, but it's hard to swallow if you got a car full of bumper stickers, and then you're like that, oh god, like that Osteen when there was that flooding in Texas and he didn't want to let anybody go in the church. So and that guy, I don't think is on the left or anything. It was just an example that came to mind. But I guess that Senator Menendez, I guess from New Jersey, he's looking pretty shady. So I mean, it does happen, and it is a both sides thing. And then it's damaging too, in the same way to the people. Maybe the group of people is different, so the dispersal of hurt is different or something. But every kind of collection is gonna have bookends. So those are them. And then, like I said before, there's other people that are not real, invested in either thing, just kind of want, I don't know, I can't speak for those people, they're not well represented. But I feel like the ego is playing a big role in making it hard for people to communicate, because man, we get wrapped up in our beliefs and like rigid, you know, and no one's trying to figure out a way to yield to the other, you know. I mean, that's involved in fighting about it. Although I don't hang out in those circles, so I don't know, but I just feel like this has to happen so that, you know, all of that stuff, like what I was talking about, and all the feelings that it brews up, and the things that happen to people because of what they're doing as a matter of like following their belief. There's like a hard callus to get through of that belief system, and the need to be right, I think, plays a big part of it. And if that ain't one of the arrows in ego's quiver, I don't know where it would belong otherwise. So let me talk about the other card for a minute. So skywriting and the fates. The fates always make me think of the fates from the fable or the mythology. Shoot. Well, there's three of them. One makes the part of whatever they're sewing, like the part of the fabric, because they're sewing the fabric of reality, and one does the I'm trying to say all three at one time. One does the present, one does the past, one does the future. And there's lots of stories involving those sewing sisters that are the fates collectively. Monetize yourself? No. Never mind. But that doesn't not play into this, because for at least this patch of fabric where I live, that whole debate of ideology is kind of making stuff not work, you know. There's other factors contributing to that, and it's contributing definitely to whatever's going on the right. But that contributing factor, that intrusion and interference, because that's what I believe it is, I don't think is relegated to that one side. Like the entity that I have in mind is smarter than that. They would distribute their poison pills everywhere, you know, like a both sides kind of situation. So I feel like if you look closely at certain people whose motivations you just cannot figure. I mean, what's that Sherlock Holmes thing? If the impossible, or if everything you can think of doesn't work, then it must be the impossible. I mean, am I the only one that looks at like our politicians, or like some people on any side talking, and you're just like, what? Where are you getting that from? And who are you representing when you're saying that? And just like existential questions about trying to understand WTF you're saying. And whoa, I mean, there's some egos at play in that area too. Like Showtime kinds of egos really putting it on. And In fact, put like really laying it on too thick, like to the point where like, oh, you it is so clear who's telling you what to say that you might as well like just be channeling the guy. You might as well be possessed by that particular person. And it's interesting how I was gonna say how like mimicry could travel, but it's beyond that. It's like I said, it's like possession almost. Except you can see right through it. And I feel like, you know, rather than getting upset about it, I mean, I'm getting a kick out of it. It could like become personally not funny at some point, depending how things go. But you know, it's not always the way. So I am going to show you the other card. Oh shoot, I think 2 fell out. Yep, that's right, there was 2 of this one too. Okay, so remember, I might get cut off at any time here. They're from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and the first one was fish. And I don't even know. Hold on a second. I looked at it earlier and it made me think of something, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh. I don't know. Let's consult the guidebook. I'm drawing a blank here. I mean, oh no. No. I'm not gonna share that. Okay, so restlessness, change of focus, lost in the current. Come on. Okay, so what I didn't want to say was it looked like for a second like it was in some sort of frying pan, and the red crescent. I have this set of pans that have some kind of technology that it lets you know when it's hot. Because a red circle appears in the middle. Thanks. Who is that for? But anyway, that's what I thought of. But I didn't want to be cooking the fish, you know, so... And then it says, like, the title of the chapter is Fish, and then it has a little few words and phrases, and the first one is restlessness. Like it's hot in that pan and it's flipping around. Okay, it just keeps going. So anyway, so the next part is change of focus, lost in the current. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases him more than movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. So, flaky all over the place? Is that what you're saying? Oh, come on. No. Sorry. With all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. Oh, so that's what that's about. Even if that's a moon, and that's what the fish is seeing it through the water, I don't understand the perspective. It's like I don't know. I must be overthinking it. The fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. Okay, well, sure. Flopping around in a hot pan, you know, getting dashed about by the current of the waters that you're in, and getting lost without clear goals because you're all over the place. I mean, I can see how that might make it a little iffy to make clear intentions, make good decisions. But, you know, it's a temporary thing because, you know, here's how a stream works. It'll go along and it'll be maybe, you know, calm and cute, and then it will get like deeper and wider and get more active and maybe a little scary and turn into rapids maybe, and then all of a sudden like spew into just a big old pool and calm way down. So it's like a transient life, you know. When in balance, adaptable, travels well. When out of balance, distracted, changes mind often. Set a small goal and accomplish it. Well, actually, I can dig that because baby steps, right? Especially when you're all scattered and it sounds like confused and maybe a little singed, or I don't know, like I've never seen a bruised fish to my knowledge, but there's, you know, have you ever like been in a stream or something like that? There's like rocks all over the place in there. They're sticking up. They're all over not the floor. they're all over the bed, the stream bed, the floor. So yeah, what am I putting stuff away for? I'm not done. There was another card. So keep that fish in mind, I guess, and all that activity. And oh wow, it did end up in my little babbling self, pouring out into the calm, peaceful place. Well, that worked out. How tidy. Okay, gazelle. Oh, good. It's right by here. Nope. I'm in the right section. There it is. So, something about that sun reminds me of something that I cannot place right now, but I know it's from the 1970s when I was a kid, and I'm thinking it might have been like a book cover that was in my house, or like on a advertisement in a window that I used to see all the time, something like that. And it wasn't like it seems like it was from like groovier a place than where I lived for sure, if it wasn't on a book. But yeah, it's just for some reason giving me that certain vibe of, well, now it's kind of schlocky, I guess, a lot of stuff from the time I'm thinking of, like, I don't know, 73 to 75. I could tell you there were some, oh wait, no, that's later. The clothes were, nope, I'm right. There were also some uncomfortable clothes in the 70s, culottes. It was too much in LA. It was just like too many, I don't know. Just the thought of it makes me want to like fan myself. Oh, and bell bottoms. You know, the fashion I didn't care about either way. I didn't know anything. I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, but I hated them because they would get caught in my bicycle chain all the time. I don't know if you've ever been thrown on the ground suddenly when you're riding, but here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to let your wheel drop between the grass and the sidewalk and not see it, for one thing, or even if you do see it, it's not a good way to fall. It is painful. Or, what was the other one? Oh, over the handlebars. Always an adventure. My favorite. Don't know. Yeah, like, it's traumatic. So, yeah, those bell bottoms would get caught in your chain, and that was another way you could go down, and it just was never good because you were not able to roll away from the bike, so you and the bike just became a painful tangled mess. You know, and then not like I was clumsy or anything, but, well, I was a clumsy thinker, because if I was smart, I would have got a rubber band around that thing and saved myself from some falls. What did I end up doing? Oh, I probably just rolled up one leg or something, but it must have taken me a while to catch on, because I'm remembering falling like at least 4 times. Must have hit my head once. Sidetracked. Okay. It's Glamour Shots Nairobi again. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. I mean, there's not, I don't know if there was such a thing, but that's when you would have these photo studios where the family would get dressed up and go down. I guess they still have them. I don't know where though, because I know the one I used to see was at Sears, and can't find one of those around here. But I know there's photo studios. But I don't know, maybe that's where I got the vibe of it's the sun in the background that's making me think of that. It was a common color scheme too, I think. Oh, and God, it's giving me the whole wicker chair vibe. So what? What about it? I mean, what does it have to do with the gazelle? Is it shedding a tear? Oh my goodness, what is this here? Is it on that side? And squint like a pirate. Oh, there it is. Do you see there by the eye, that little white teardrop looking area? Wow. I don't know what would be so sad for this animal during that time. Huh. It might be lame though, because it seems to be missing part of a foot. I don't know what that would have to do with anything. I don't know. I'm just reaching. Let me read the book. Oh, I shouldn't throw you like that. I might have been very close to whatever I'm trying to figure out. It's always a surprise. Gazelle, heightened awareness and ability, vulnerable. Oh. I'll continue. Heightened, okay, sorry, you read that already. The gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant. And this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all of those predators out there in the wind. Okay. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the beauty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. When in balance, graceful, perceptive, artistic. When out of balance, food allergies, insomnia, racing mind. To bring into balance, yin yoga, a cozy home, good food. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so it did resolve into something. I did look at the gazelle, like, when I pulled it, and I thought that it looked like a model, and then I totally forgot about that. Then I started talking about the gazelle at a photo shoot. And this thing is talking about awe-inspiring beauty, emitting sophistication and elegance. Can't you just see this animal with its slender legs? Have you just like doing a catwalk or walking down a catwalk? It would be so tentative, not like all stomping in like, I am a sexy woman. It would be more vulnerable, demure even. And now, like, all the 70s stuff makes sense. For it would be like graceful and artistic, right? And I would think perceptive, because the modeling world is not fluffy, you know? I mean, oh my God. First of all, I imagine it's like Mean Girl to the... I can't even think of the degree it would be so high. I mean, you've seen some of the famous ones, you know, like Naomi Campbell. Yeah. She seems excitable. But she has acted. I'm sure she has been involved with music. I'm pretty sure she's been in music videos, but she may like actually perform some type of musical talent, ability. You know what I'm saying? But they would also, especially in the early stages, have to be worrying about all of those predators out there in the wild. Like, I've heard Tyra Banks and other ones, but she's the name that comes to mind, talk about leaving to go to Europe, like alone or with some person they barely know because they just met them and they're from the modeling agency or world or something. And you're like a young teen, barely formed like personhood already anyway. And you're in those adolescent years when you're just full of crazy juice. So, I mean, and then you could just go there and already in your, like, home, it would have been, like, people looking and pawing you. And, you know, when you're young and maybe you look really beautiful or that and older than you are, it could just get, like, out of hand, kind of. Or like not out of hand, but like not out of hand you, but like the other people and their behavior and their obvious like desire to get next to you or whatever. So I mean, I could see how that would make you, you know, ready to jump out of your skin all the time. But then you gotta also, as a model, I don't know that that's the case with this, although they're not without protection, by the way, with those big old horns. So, like, don't piss them off either. But yeah, I would think it's kind of a precarious position to be in, and you better have your confidence on. And yeah, so both, again, with the ego, you would have to have like the huge ego to be the successful model, or at least to survive in that world, because I think ego manifests differently depending on your pathology. But the fate still making the past, present, and the future the person. I'm trying to say all three words at once. Manifest. And they have their internal struggles, if I remember the stories right. And I think that would affect the warp and weave of the fabric. So I don't actually know what those are. I just know that they have something to do with what do you call those things? A loom. Like you can actually have one in your house and weave fabric on them, weave yarn into fabric. My uncle married a woman from Sweden, and she was very crafty, and she had this gigantic loom in one of the rooms. And my uncle was a musician, and he played piano, and I don't know if they had it looked like the insides of a grand piano, that loom, except for I knew what a loom was, and it had yarn all in it, so obviously it wasn't a piano, but I don't know, it was just an impression I had. Anyway, what does it have to do with anything? The fates, the skywriting here, I'm taking particular notice of right now because things are very fluxy right now, and up in the air, and the future's unwoven still. And I think, I don't know, like the best influence on the fates maybe is to, you know, weave a good, tolerant, peaceful, you know, basically a future that everybody can live with and also live, is the trio really working together, working it out to get to the place where a smooth, unblemished fabric of the future can be woven. Woo, how tidy. I think my rock helped me. And my little rock friend with me. Isn't that so weird? It's like these two stones got all stuck together. Oops, sorry guy. This is like quartz, I believe, and I used to know the name of this, but I don't think the two of them, look at them. Do they look like they grow together? They're like, I got quartz in my peanut butter. Okay, yay, I didn't get cut off. Thank you and good night. Right.